my big sister, Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call. Hey, sissy.
Hey, sis. How's it going?
I'm well.
I'm a little tired tonight, not gonna lie.
All right. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bagged this week. It's hot, and I've just had a lot going on, so I'm feeling just a little run down here, but I'm sure by the end of the pod, I'll be feeling energized.
Okay, well, we want to welcome all of our listeners back to Sister Social Call and say a very special hello to all of our new listeners.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show.
On this episode of the podcast, we are going to talk about a topic that has been impacting me for nearly a decade and so many other women I know. We are going to be talking about sleep struggles in our 40s.
Yes, we are. I don't have this problem too much yet, but a lot of people do.
How are your clients dealing with this?
Well, I mean, I got a ton of clients, all different ages. It's a real crapshoot, but sleep is definitely a struggle for many people. It really truly is. So some people aren't sleeping because of menopause, perimenopause. Some people, like myself, I can't get enough sleep. Like I sleep like a freaking stone, except for 1 or 2 days in the week before I get my cycle. Then I can't sleep at all. I'm up. Like I feel like I have a lot of energy. I can't sleep at all, but otherwise I sleep like a freaking rock. Like once I hit that pillow, she's lights out.
Gosh, I'm so envious. It's getting better and it has gotten better. And I'll talk about that maybe after here in a little bit of how some of the strategies I've used. But really, this is a hormonal change in our brains. As we all know, our bodies are changing. I've been deep into the menopause books and the brain and I'm trying to understand what's happening. And so one of my favorite books that I've read is called The Menopause Brain by Dr. Lisa Muscone. And this is what she has to say about menopause. On page 47 of the book, she says, menopause can keep you awake at night. Fuck, does it ever. Poor sleep quality and sleep disturbances are lesser known changes during this phase of life. Yet they're highly prevalent. While sleep quality naturally declines with age, menopause can add fuel to the fire, turning what would have been a gradual process into a swift kick towards sleep deprivation. By waking up in the middle of the night sweats in particular make for poor sleep if you're lucky and full-blown insomnia if you're not. Then, of course, if a person is not sleeping well, mood and mental equilibrium are bound to be affected. Chronic sleep disturbances can trigger not only low mood, anxiety, and potential depression, but brain fog and exhaustion too. Lower estrogen levels can confound your brain, decreasing your capacity to deal with stress in the first place. Even more concerning is that sleep is essential in forming memories, quenching inflammation, and even reducing the risk of cognitive impairment in old age, all of which is resting on our busy minds, crucial for the long haul. It is therefore very important to address sleep disturbances that occur during the menopause transition. Perhaps not surprisingly, perimenopausal and postmenopausal women report more sleep issues than any other segment of the human population. Oh, dear God. Have I lived that life?
You have, yes. You have lived in that real struggle.
Yeah, as our regular listeners know, I've shared this story many times on the pod that I went through my menopause in my 30s. I didn't know I was going through perimenopause because we were going through so much at the time. I literally chalked up my sleep challenges to completely being stress related. I would wake up like every single freaking night at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, like it was clockwork. Literally, I would not be surprised if I saw 2:22 or 3:33, and I know those are lucky numbers, but they happen so frequently. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and it was just a vicious cycle. I'd wake up, and then you couldn't fall asleep, and next day you'd be exhausted, and I suffered incredibly from brain fog. So I can really relate to so many of my friends who are really struggling through this. In the early days when I didn't know that I was going through perimenopause, I did try some strategies to help with this. Mostly I would use the insight timer and do sleep meditations to go to sleep. I didn't have as many problems going to sleep, but I would use it quite frequently to go to sleep. And then if I woke up in the middle of the night, I would try my hardest to go back to sleep. But there was many times where I actually used the insight timer to do go back to sleep meditation in those early days. Another one, and this is like a funny strategy that I don't think like many people probably would try, but it makes me fall asleep. Sean loves getting his head rubbed, but I don't love doing it. So like I would rub it and I'll inevitably fall asleep. So like when I am having moments of insomnia, I would be like, well, okay, this always works. I don't love rubbing your head. It makes me fall asleep. And so sometimes I do that to help me.
That's a win-win situation. Win for you and win for Sean.
Totally. And then like as I've talked about lots, the brain fog was absolutely the worst for me. And thankfully that has lifted, probably started to lift when I was put on hormone replacement therapy. I started to sleep again. I remember, Sissy, like in 2 weeks after starting hormone replacement therapy, I remember the first time I had a good night's sleep and going like, that's what that feels like again. It was like, and it only took me 2 weeks.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
For sure. Very impressive.
Okay, and you have said that you haven't really noticed your sleep changing too much.
Well, I don't sleep a lot, but I love sleeping. I always read a book before I go to bed, and I sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep good, and I sleep hard. So that's not one thing I can really relate to, but I was just talking to, I was at a wedding a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that, and we were talking about how the girls, and even me, like there's those couple days a month where I don't get any sleep. Like it's before my cycle, not usually it can be the day before, but usually it's two or 3 days before that I struggle to sleep. But I just know what's happening. So I don't fight it. I just read my book. I don't get onto my phone because I find getting onto the phone makes it worse. So I just try to read my book. If I'm not able to sleep, or then putting on the sleep meditations that you were mentioning. Mm-hmm. Those are helpful. And the other girls were saying like, yes, that's also helpful for them. Most of these gals I was talking to aren't in perimenopause. They're actually in their child rearing days right now. But of course, their sleep is all muddled up as well. You know, they're just sleeping when their babies are sleeping or sleeping in when they can. And then some of them most of them are all back to work right now. So they're not on mat leave, nurses, self-employed, you name it. And they're just,
the sleep struggle is real.
The sleep struggle is real. So it's not even just menopausal women. And even for men, I think men struggle with this as well when they go through their hormone changes as life progresses for them as well. Like, I think it's not just women. Honestly, it's just people in general. Our mother, she's struggled with sleep forever. She still does. It's a whole thing. Like, it's not just segregated to people that are in menopause or perimenopause. It's definitely a struggle. But I find because I have this overactive thyroid, it can make you feel exhausted all of the time. I don't know if it's my thyroid. I don't know if it's perimenopause. I don't know if it's because I burn my candle at both ends pretty much from the minute I wake up until the minute I go to bed. Like, I don't know. I do a lot of shit in a day. So, but I don't like I said, I mean, when I was younger, I used to struggle to sleep because I had this brain that was just constantly going. Like, it couldn't ever turn it off. And as I've gotten older, my days are so full of goodness. I'm not even going to say badness, all of such goodness that I just don't struggle sleeping, but I do feel tired a lot. And I think it's many things. I think that, like I said, I'm burning the candle at both ends. I think the overactive thyroid and even perhaps a side effect of the medication I'm on for that, possibly. Mm-hmm. But it is just a part of life, I find. You know, you just got to sleep when you can. So if you need to catch a 5-minute power nap, or like there's times when I'm just so exhausted, I just need to go to bed at 7 p.m. And then I just go to bed at 7 p.m. It happens once every 6 months, I'm sure. But just sometimes it's just like, go get a good rest. And then, I get up and I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But I'm trying to hold that as well because of our chats about our pelvic floor and whatnot. So I'm trying to not get up in the middle of the night every time I feel the urge that I have to pee, because I definitely don't pee for 13 seconds every time I get up. So yeah, I haven't even been really getting up in the night, which is quite fascinating because I drink tons of water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we read the new Menopause as part of our Slow Readers book club. We've referenced it a few times on the pod. And here are some sleep strategies from the book. And I actually think many of these apply for folks that aren't going through perimenopause or postmenopausal. This is what Dr. Mary Claire had to say about strategies for dealing with sleep disturbances. So in most cases, your sleep quality and duration requires a multifaceted approach that considers potential underlying causes. One good place to start is to work on improving your sleep hygiene by creating a consistent sleep schedule, ensuring that your sleep environment is comfortable with the right temperature, no disruptive light, a comfortable pillow, and eliminating your exposure to blue light emitting devices like your cell phone, your tablet, LED TV screens for 2 or more hours prior to bedtime. She also has like hormonal and supplementation and pharmacological options as well, and therapeutic, but this is not meant to be a medical session, but there were several that she speaks to about like hormone replacement therapy and just like some different supplementation options. But yeah.
Read the book or talk to your healthcare provider, your naturopath, your family doctor. If you're struggling, we're not in the position to be telling anybody what they should and shouldn't do as far as sleep situations go. That's for sure.
Sissy, do you actually put your phone down 2 hours before you go to bed?
No, but I try to read for 1 hour before I go to sleep. So that's kind of my goal every night. But sometimes I don't make it. Like sometimes I start reading and I'm like pecking corn and I'm just like, burp. But my goal is to always read for 1 hour. So I'll scroll my phone for a few minutes when I get into bed and then I'll read.
Mm.
Sometimes I make it the hour. Sometimes I don't. Do you do that?
No, I don't. But my phone, I have it programmed to go into night mode at 8:50 every night. So then I'm not having straight blue screen. Like I don't see colors. I see black and white.
Do you think that makes a difference?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Interesting.
Because there are times where I'll turn that off. Like if I see something that interests me and I'll turn off the sleep mode. And I'll see the colors and I'll be just wired again. So I do think the black and white does help.
Yeah, I think part of me as I'm yawning when we're talking about sleeping. Like fitting episode for tonight. I do think that a TV, that stimulation, or phones, TVs, tablets, video games, all that stuff, it's just too much for us to handle. I think it's important that we give ourselves that disconnection from all that before we go to bed. It's the least that we can do for ourselves, even if it means just journaling, doing a couple quick stretches, reading a book. Because I think we owe ourselves that after a busy day, it's just like disconnect for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 hours is quite a long time, I think, to disconnect from everything. But I think giving yourself that time at the end of the day before you go to bed to disconnect from all the electronic type things and then just reconnect with yourself and bring it on in. I definitely think that's key and clutch for a successful night's sleep. Not that everybody can do that, especially if they're new parents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, they're literally like falling asleep with like a kid hanging off the boob. It's hard to have that just you time, but I think that's important to get that sleep and to feel at the end of the day that you're kind of wrapping up your day, you're dialing it in.
Yeah, I find I can do a better job in the wintertime of having a little bit better sleep hygiene and a routine. It's dark out. That's the first thing. Right now, it's light out in Invermere till 10:30 and 11 o'clock at night. So that's challenging to really settle your nervous system after a day when it's still like go time, or it feels like it's go time at 11 o'clock at night. But I find in the wintertime, I also add in a hot bubble bath. I love a bubble bath.
Beer.
I used to have a beer. Yeah, those used to be my 3 Bs, a beer, a book, and a bubble bath. but I haven't drank for since November. So that's not a thing. But I find it easier to have a regular sleep routine in the winter than I do in the summertime.
I just don't get enough sleep in the summertime because, yeah, same as you, sis. I'm totally on that same program because, yeah, in the wintertime, it's nice and dark out and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to bed at 9. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And right now, if I get to, like, my goal is to get into bed by midnight. And then I like to read for an hour. So it's like, oh my gosh. But there's just so many things that can be done outside, I'm trying to get like gardening done and then just all the things that happen in the summertime, right? So you're just busy trying to maximize all the hours of the day and then you still want to do your nighttime routine. So, I just struggle to get a lot of sleep. I mean, as much sleep as I'd want. I probably get more sleep than the average person anyways, no matter what, but still I think I function the absolute best on 9 hours.
Oh gosh, I wish I could. I don't know if I've had 9 hours of continuous sleep in forever. I'm happy if I get 6 continuous.
Holy, well, that's probably more what I get, but like when I get 9, I'm really feeling refreshed. That is my dream amount of sleep. And if I don't get enough sleep, oh, you feel hungover.
Yeah.
You just feel disgusting. I hate that feeling.
I know. And then imagine that for years, sissy. That is how I felt for a really long time until I probably got HRT, like got on hormone replacement therapy. And I would say only now in the last maybe year or two where I feel like there's a lot of things lining up, my supplements, changing some of my hormones amounts, probably working out more consistently. I think all of those things have actually allowed me to have better sleeps. But like, imagine that hangover feeling for literally years. Like, that's what it was like. It was awful.
Well, I lived that. I literally lived that with actual like drugs and alcohol. That was my reality for a long time. So I know. But yes, when you don't sleep, it's hard on the soul because you're frustrated already because you weren't sleeping. So the minute you can't fall asleep, you start to get frustrated, which makes it worse.
Yeah.
So then you already wake up irritable as fuck. And then you're exhausted. And then you're just like, and then you feel like garbage. So you add all those things together. It's just a recipe for an absolute perfect storm. Krista with minimal sleep is no bueno. I'll say that. No bueno. I do better if I have good sleep. I do better if I sleep in my own bed. I do better if I have a routine. I get it why people have these like pretty rigid structured routines as they age in life because truly if you don't stick to some kind of routine, it can really affect how your next day or week or month goes, like no word of a lie.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Okay.
Would you sleep in separate rooms than your partner?
No.
Okay.
I like having naked body beside me. So no, if I like there was times when I was with Mark and it was like one of us couldn't sleep or it was really hot or something. One of us would go to the spare room or the couch, but it wouldn't even be for the whole night. Like we'd eventually come back. It's just like until we felt like we were rested up and like, or we just dialed down enough that we were actually able to fall asleep. But no, would you?
I don't think I need to.
Yeah.
And I have no judgment to people who choose to sleep in separate rooms to help their sleep. I have no judgment, but
oh God, no, like you got to do what you got to do to thrive.
Exactly.
Like honestly,
like, where to find each other when it's sexy time.
Yeah. Or whatever you need, like, where the other one's at.
Exactly.
But no, I love the feeling of a naked body beside me. So I avoid that at all costs if that's an option in my life.
Well, yeah, but I know that is some people's sleep strategy is to sleep in separate beds.
Yes, I know people that have separate bedrooms as well.
Anyways, we shared some strategies that have worked in our lives. The insight timer.
We shared our struggles and our strategies, but you are not alone, my friends. You are not alone. So even though I may not have the same problems like Stacey had where she wasn't able to sleep a lot, I still feel the exhaustion at times. So
yeah,
you are not alone. We are all in this together. Male, female, like child free. child rearing, childbearing. We are all in this together.
Mm-hmm. And give people grace.
Yes. And if you're feeling cuckoo-luckoo, reach out to your friends. They'll remind you are not.
Yeah.
Or they might remind you that you are. But for the most part, it'll make you feel, if you reach out and talk to somebody, it'll make you feel a bit better about life for sure. Because sometimes I think we can get into those moments where we feel we're so tired or we feel like we're going crazy. And reality is we're tired, we're exhausted, we're not sleeping enough, whatever. So don't worry, you're not alone, and reach out to your pals if you're feeling a little off.
Yeah. Go with grace.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move into our peaks, pits, and plans, sissy.
Let's do it.
You first.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were going to peak us up here with your most amazing, incredible trip.
We're going to end on that high note.
Okay. Sounds wonderful. I have a pit.
Oh.
One pit this week. And so on Sunday, I was getting my yard in tip-top shape. My yard looks incredible right now. I didn't realize I had a massive wasp nest under my deck. And so I was whippersnipping right underneath of it, totally disturbed them all. And then I was attacked badly. Like, you can still see this hand is still puffy. And now I've got some weird rash going on it. So on my hand, I can see 4 bite marks on my hand. You can see the lump. One bite mark there. And 3 or 4 on the back of my neck up in here. So I had a serious attack happen to me. And my hand swelled up so bad yesterday. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to hold scissors. So I went to the pharmacy and had to get hydrocortisone cream for topical. Then they told me to take a leave to take down the swelling. Try, because I'd already taken in yesterday morning 3 antihistamines, like all at once. I was like, just how am I going to get through the day of work? My hand, it hurt. It was so tight. It was so swollen that it hurt to close it. And it's so itchy. It's unbelievable. So that's my one pit.
That is awful.
It was a whole thing. Oh gosh, if my neighbors heard me, I'm like, well, I sure hope nobody attacks me because you guys will never hear me. I was screaming at the top of my lungs and they had no clue. So there's that. Anyway, but I have a lot of peaks this week as usual, so we're really peaking it up. First of all, I'm going to talk about my peak. On Monday night, my friend Laura Lee, who listens to this podcast, so anyways, she's a dear friend of mine and she's my neighbor. Laura Lee and I are almost exact opposite. If you saw us on the street, you would be like, how are these two even friends? However, our thoughts and our hearts and our soul are very, very similar.
Yes. Very aligned.
We are very aligned. And actually, and our morals and our values, very aligned. But if you look at us, very different. Doesn't matter though. Anyways, so we've become really great friends. And this is a bit of a long story, but anyways, so this year I wasn't sure how my garden would grow. And if you guys have been listening or follow me on social media, you would know that a huge part of my life has been my garden, and a huge part of my healing and a huge part of my journey as a person in adult life has been, being in my garden, touching the earth, having my feet on the ground. And more recently was growing flowers. And I think part of growing flowers is the connection to my grandmother and my auntie who are passed away. I feel a deep connection to them when I'm in the garden, but also just the absolute sheer beauty and the creativity that you can have with flowers and just the hope that it really brings when you see them grow from a tiny seed into this big, beautiful bloom. When I left Mark last year, I was just like, I knew in my heart there was this feeling I wanted to feel. It's like you have this vision of what you want your life to be. For me, there was a feeling I wanted to feel. So more so than it being something like, I want to have a house, I want to have a car, I want to have this. It's like, no, I just want to feel this deep, peaceful, I don't even know, I cannot describe the feeling. And so that is why, so this year my garden grew. It's grown. My flowers have grown far greater than I've ever even imagined. So it's going off the rails in my garden, which has brought me a ton of joy and a lot of really intense feelings and a lot of healing and a lot of closure and a lot of There's been a lot of emotions happening in the garden this year, which is amazing. Anyhow, there's a feeling that I have strived for in my life, I've arrived at it. I feel it, and I feel it very deeply. And so I asked Laura Lee if she would be able to help me capture this feeling, because words can't explain it. And so my friend Laura Lee is I would say, a professional photographer. She's a creative spirit. And I asked her if she would do this photo shoot with me, because I want to capture this feeling that I can't describe. And I know that she would be the perfect person to do it. So on Monday night, we had this photo shoot in my flower garden, and it was amazing. I didn't feel awkward. I didn't feel nothing. It just felt so natural. I knew Laura Lee was the exact person I wanted to be there with me, because her and I've shared many really deep, meaningful life chats together. And that was unreal. It was amazing. Very emotional. And afterwards, I felt like it was like a big expansion that happened. So that can be sometimes a bit draining. But yeah, I was emotional, and there was some tears shed. And I felt beautiful. I felt like myself. I felt, for the first time, I really felt connected to who I am as a person. And yeah, so that was the peakiest peak of the week. I did put a deposit on a car, so that is exciting, but it's not going to be here for a while. But it's my dream car. I just went for it because nothing else will probably compare. So it'll be here mid-September.
Okay, what color is it?
It's called Underground. It's like a gray-black color, and that's the color I wanted.
Mm.
And so I'm at the mercy of what's available, because I can't wait a year to basically design my own car.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to take kind of what's coming in. Yeah. So that's going to be here hopefully sooner than later, not later than sooner, but that's a plus. So right now I'm wheeling around in a 3/4 ton truck. My uncle's, thank you, Uncle Roger, for helping me out again. I don't even know what I would do without this. I wouldn't know what to do without him. He's really stepped up to the plate for me in ways I could never thank him for. Anyhow, and onwards and upwards, I bartended a ball tournament. That was fun. It was a good time. I had a lot of fun. And then it was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night, it was this guy out here. His name's Rod. It was his 50th birthday. So I swung by there for a bit, said happy birthday, visited a lot of people. And then I went to my friend Taylor. Like, Taylor and I have known each other for years. We waitressed together at a restaurant anyways. So her sister Bree and I and Taylor, and then Danielle was coming out. These are my workout girls. We've had this workout group since COVID times, and we check in with each other every day. Anyways, and their husbands were all there, and then some friends showed up. So I went to their place. I was out till like midnight. I was so proud of myself. I'm having the best time. I'm like, can we do this every weekend? There's just good tunes playing, good vibes. I was having the time. My friend Kim was on the beach on Saturday, popped over and saw her on the beach, swam with her daughter Iz for a bit. Like, it was such an awesome weekend. So yeah, the peaks are very plentiful. And so my plans are for the rest of the week here, Sip and Shop, doing another one of those. That's on Saturday from 12 to 5. Oh yeah, there's a book sale out here on Saturday. Oh, Saturday's busy. Volunteer pancake breakfast, free pancake breakfast. So I'm going to that. It's free. Then there's a book sale from 9 till 2 for our local library. I'll be hitting up that. And then I'm going to go to Sip and Shop from 12 to 5, slinging my watercolors and my beads. Then that's that. Sunday, there's a going away party for Roger and Joanne Alday. They're good friends of mine. They're moving to Edmonton. So there's a little going away party at the beach bar for them. And then there's the Redneck Parade after that, which I will take that in as well. And then on Tuesday, I have my annual appointment with my respirologist. I haven't had any issues breathing for a long time. So I'm excited I don't know if he'll actually do a breathing exam this time or not or whatever, but it's always nice to go check in and make sure my lungs are behaving, because we don't want to be ending up in any sticky lung situations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's it. Everything is just happening in life right now. So all is well. Now, Stacey, take it away.
Well, I can't think of any pits right now. I don't think I have any pits, but I do have an
Not even
ick.
your toenail?
Well, I think that's my ick.
Oh, that's an ick for me too.
So for folks, I was invited along with a group of people to go on a hike, and I didn't really know the details, which is, I think in this case was to an advantage for me, because I think if I would have known that part of this hiking adventure would have been one day that was 30 kilometers, I probably would have psyched myself out, and I probably would have been like, I don't think I'm fit enough to do that. But so I didn't know many details. I knew I was going to be parking at Mount Shark in Kananaskis in Alberta, and that we had to do a long, we're not really sure exactly how many, somewhere between 16 and 19 kilometer hike into our campground. Well, that was a lot for my brain to process, just knowing that alone. So, but we did it, and it was pretty flat. It was kind of rolly, but overall pretty flat. And I think we did in 6 hours, something like that. That was, I think, just over 17 kilometers the first day, and, just set up tents. And next day, the conversation was like a 30 kilometer hike. And I was like, okay, well, all my friends are doing it, so I'm just going to go and see what happens. It didn't sound like there was anything that was risky, and because I'm very risk averse, nothing that seemed like I would be too exposed, not crazy elevation. Anyways, so I went along with my pals doing this 30 kilometer hike. And there was only one point where there was 3 kilometer hike up. That was kind of strenuous, more strenuous than anywhere else. But, I had a trail dad he's like, Stacey, there's one turn left, one turn right, because there was a bunch of switchbacks to get up this elevation. Okay, I can do this. And it was hard, and I had to go slow, and I definitely felt like I was holding people up, but everybody's like, we just go slow, one step in front of the other. We got up there, up to the top of a place called Wonder Pass, and it was wonder. That there's no other word. It was so beautiful. And looking back behind me and seeing Marble Lake and a ridge of mountains, Marble Lake was a blue, turquoisey, green, a color. I don't even have a word to describe the color for it. It was so beautiful. And then getting up into the actual high alpine and doing Wonder Pass, there was still snow up there, but the wildflowers, when I started to see the alpine crocuses everywhere. We're familiar with the purple crocuses. The alpine crocuses are this baby yellow, and they're so beautiful, and they were blooming everywhere. And that was amazing. There were purple, I think, aster type flowers, yellow, things that look like little mini sunflowers. But the ones that blew me away the most were the fuchsia colored Indian paintbrushes. I've seen them in other redishes and pinks and kind of orangey salmon colors, but I have never seen them in fuchsia. And they were so beautiful. And the mixture of the wildflowers in fields, meadows of them. I'm like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. There's so many of them.
Yeah, your pictures were so beautiful.
Yeah.
I was very, very jealous of the views you were seeing.
Yeah, it's they were just gorgeous everywhere. Just hard to take it in, because I felt like we were kind of in a little bit of a rush, because 30 kilometers in one day takes a long time. It took us, we needed to get down, obviously before it's dark. So we hit up Assiniboine.
Did you go back to your original camp spot once you did the loop, or did you camp somewhere different?
So on the first day, we walked out to a campsite called Allenby. That was 17 kilometers in. And then we came back in the morning, 3 kilometers, dropped off our stuff at a campsite called McBride, and then did the loop around. And we even came past that first Allenby campsite from the night before and back to McBride. Yeah. So we did a big loop, and coming down, I fall lots, as we all know. This is one of my characteristics. I fall quite a bit, but I didn't fall. So that was great. But I was slow. I was very tentative in my walk down, which again, I was the least experienced in this group. Although somebody had no idea that I hadn't done a hike like this in over 25 years. That was the last time I did an overnight backcountry hike like that.
Okay.
Anyways, the views were amazing. We spent about a half an hour at Assiniboine Lodge. This is like a World Heritage Site. We ran into lots of people on the trail, and they're from all over the world coming there. And this is like literally in our backyard, pretty much.
Right.
And so we were just so fortunate. Came down, had supper. Yeah, I'm very happy. This would probably be my peak of my peaks, is that my body did well. I felt good. I fueled myself properly. I felt strong in my legs, except for when we were doing the up quite a bit. Like I was just tired.
Yeah.
But overall, I did not have pains in my hips, knees, thighs. I felt good and stable and strong. What I did come home with, and this is the icks, is 2 blisters and some chafing. Now, this is crazy because we talked about this with Chris the week before. After the first day of hiking, I developed a hot spot on my big toe on my left foot and a blister on my second toe. Second day, we did that 30-kilometer hike, and the hot spot on my left big toe turned into a blister, and the blister on my second toe popped and took my toenail with it, which was gross. But I taped her right up and made it out on the last day with one less toenail and a lot of chafing. But these are the things that, I will be better prepared next time.
Yes.
I contemplated different change of underwear.
Maybe you need to just tape your thighs. Like maybe you just need to put tape all around your thighs, almost like Spanx or something.
That was a conversation we had yesterday as I was walking out. A friend did have, in the hiking group, had the stuff that usually moms use for diaper rash. I can't think of the name. Anyhow, it's in a blue container. It's like almost feels like Vaseline, but not quite like Vaseline.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So anyways, that's the ick. So for Steph who listens to us, and I told her that'd be an ick, it would be the losing a toenail and the chafage between my legs. So that's an ick. So pits, I don't have any. Icks are just the small injuries that I sustained from friction.
Yeah.
And peaks was the whole hiking experience all around. It was really good. Just like the hike up. So beautiful.
I'm so proud of you, Stacey. Honestly, when you told me the actual amount that you went, I was just so proud of you for doing that. And it's just, not a lot of people at 45 can say they even walk 5 kilometers, let alone do a weekend mountain hiking trip like you just did. So you should be proud of yourself. I know I am very proud of you. I think that is incredible and very inspiring. So
thanks, sis. My one friend kept saying, we're so lucky. And I said, I kind of have a problem with the word luck. And we've talked about this before, sis, about the word luck, because it's choices that we make. We've set ourselves up for going to the gym multiple times in a week. I live in the mountains. I choose to do this with my time. Like I was invited. That might have been the luckiest part, is that my friend group thought to invite me. That would be the luckiest part of this. But
and like lucky to have the opportunity, which is the same thing as your friends inviting you. But I can see the luck where it's like, I feel so lucky to have the opportunity to enjoy this.
Yeah, grateful. I'm beyond grateful. Like that, my gratitude was high. When I saw those first crocuses, the alpine crocuses, I got weepy, emotional, and because it took a lot to get to see those little alpine crocuses that I wasn't expecting to see. Had no idea I was going to see these fields of wildflowers everywhere around me. It was just awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so anyways, moving on to my plans. Folks, I don't have anything like plans like Chrissy does. I am going to be deployed on Friday for 9 days into the Provincial Regional Emergency Operations Center in Kamloops, British Columbia. I'll be there for 9 days. I will be working my butt off, supporting communities, local authorities in British Columbia as we go through what's turning out to be now a challenging fire season. So my days are going to be long at work, but the work is vitally important. And I feel privileged that I am in a position that I can go and do some of that work and give back to our communities. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a different challenge, and I'll be in a big city for 9 days just working. That's it. Nothing exciting. We'll be lucky to pull off a podcast recording. That's one thing that could be.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for me, sis.
Oh, before we go, there was a couple of things I wanted to just make a little mention of. Beep, beep. For those of you that listen, I just wanted to give a little quick, and that are local to where I live. There is going to be some really great events happening at the Last Mountain Lake Cultural Center in the next few weeks. So, and there's a really great art show up there. One of my friends' art shows up there. So be sure to check that out. Hit up. There's a band coming, couple gals. One of our really avid listeners, her daughter and her partner, Moats and Oats, they are coming to the Cultural Center and playing a show there. So check that out. That's, I think, August 7th or something. And my best friend from childhood, Kelly, and her friend Rena have started a podcast themselves called Faraway Friends. So if you want to have, I haven't listened to their new one that just came out today, their second episode, but I listened to the first one. So if you want to hear some good old, just sincere, genuine girl chat, friend chat, Faraway Friends, go check it out. Well, you guys, you know the drill. If you love the podcast, share it with your peeps. Follow us if you haven't followed us. Be sure to comment. For all of you that engage in our social media, thank you so much for that. If you want to find us on social media, you can find Stacey on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can find myself, Krista, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can find Sister Social Call on Instagram. Anyways, you guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us on this episode. So, yeah.
Love you, sissy.
Love you too, sis.